Hey guys, it's Bunny from BunnyCakes.com, and this is my 2012 wrap-up video. I know most people have already uploaded their people started uploading their 2012 wrap-up videos in the middle of December. What? I read so many books at the end of December, I'm glad I didn't already do this video. So basically what I wanted to do in this video is talk about the goals that I set for myself last year and how I ended the year. I participated in a lot of challenges. Like I did one called like the Name That Thing challenge, but it was for a horror group on Goodreads. So basically you were supposed to pick a book, take each letter of your name, and then find a horror book that started with that letter. So like, I read Blackbird, and that was the only one. Like I couldn't find a U or N or Y. So I failed on that challenge. For my reading goal for 2012, I set my goal at 62 books, and I set my goal at 52 books, and I ended with 69. So I actually did really good last year. I was proud of myself. I picked 52 because I figured one book a week was doable. I know I sometimes do read a whole lot more than that. I can sit down and read a book in a day if I'm really enjoying the book. But there are certain times of the year, like especially around the holidays, where I don't get any reading done. I don't think I read much in October and November. So I'm really proud that I managed to meet my goal. And not only meet it, but beat it. Do you know what I mean? So I was really proud of myself with my goals for this year. I do want to show you the books I read during 2012. However, I think 69 covers flying across the screen is going to make a very long and boring video. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you what I read each month. That'll just be 12 things, January, February. And you'll kind of get to see what kind of books I read during 2012. And make sure that you check my channel tomorrow because I'm going to be uploading my favorite reads of 2012 video. It's like the top 12 of 2012, I think is what everybody's calling it. I'm just going to kind of show you my favorite reads out of everything that I read last year and talk a little bit about those. So that's going to be a fun video, and that will be tomorrow. On to what I read in 2012. For January, I read How to Photograph Your Children, Practical Advice and Tips for Taking Amazing Photos of Your Kids by Angelina Brown. It was a total waste of time. I read Dracula by Bram Stoker, which counted toward my Classics challenge. For my Getting Reacquainted with Stephen King challenge, I read Carrie. I read Chill Run by Russell Brooks, which is like an action mystery. Organized Simplicity, and I'm not going to try to say that author's name because it's crazy. It's basically a guide on how to get your life back in order or whatever. I read Wanted Gentleman Bank Robber by Dane Batty, which is a nonfiction book. I started the Spiderwick Chronicles with The Field Guide by Holly Black. And I read Graveminder. In February, I read another book toward my Getting Reacquainted with Stephen King goal. I read The Green Mile. And then I finished the Spiderwick Chronicles. So I read The Sing Stone, Lucinda's Secret, The Ironwood Tree, and The Wrath of Mograth. And then I started the Beyond Spiderwick series. I read The Nixie Song and a Giant Problem. And then I read the first book in the Rime of the Willow series, which is called Shadow Bloom. It is like fantasy. I think it's supposed to be middle grade, but it might be a little higher level middle grade. It was like fantasy, action, adventure. It was really good. I was really hard on it in the review, too. I feel like an asshole now, but, sometimes after you sit and think about a book for a while, you feel different about it. In March, I finished the Beyond Spiderwick by reading The Worm King. I read The Woman in Black by Susan Hill, which is a ghost story, and The Gift Giver by Jennifer Hawkins, which made me cry, throw up cry. In April, I read the first hardback of The Walking Dead. I read a high fantasy book called The Dragons of Cheril. I read Eden's Root by Rachel Fisher, which is dystopian. The Encounter with Hell, My Terrifying Clash with a Demonic Entity by Alexis McQuillan, which is supposed to be non-fiction. It was not very good. Blackbirds by Chuck Wendig, which is snarky horror. In May, I read The Blue Stocking Girl, which is book 2 in the von Strassenberg saga by Gwen Wright. Write Your Book Now, a proven system to start and finish the book you've always wanted to write by Jean Parrott. Velveteen by Danny Marks. Fated by Alison Noel. The Secret Life of Copernicus H. Stringfellow by Lauren Barber. And The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. June and July were tiny months for me. I read Demon Days by Richard Finney and Curses and Effed Up Fairy Tale in June. And then in July, I read Book 2 of The Walking Dead hardbacks and Unnatural Law by Natasha Larry, which is like a paranormal, almost like an action mystery. I don't know how to classify that one either. It was really good. In August, I read Island Eyes, Island Skies. I Am Legend and Other Stories by Richard Matheson, which counted kind of toward my classics. The Fast Track Course on How to Write a Nonfiction Book Proposal by Stephen Blake Matee. Ad Nauseum by C.W. Lassart, and this is horror short stories. Tandem by Tracy Bateman, which is considered Christian fiction, but it was a vampire book, and I thought it was awesome. I didn't even realize it was a book too, so... I read Dark Root by the Sullivan Brothers, which was book 2 in the Rime of the Willow series. And then I read Finding Poe by Leah Lane. In September, my Getting Reacquainted with Stephen King pick of the month was It. And then for book club, I read Cinder by Marissa Meyer. Reality Bites, Tales of a Half Vampire by Shonda Kennedy Winger. The Unwanteds, which was an audiobook by Lisa McMahon. And The Night Has Teeth, which is a werewolf book. It's YA by Kat Kruger. That was also my first official blog tour. That's the first time I took part of a blog tour. So that was fun for me. In October for book club, I read Enclave by Anne Aguirre. And then I read Shades of Souls Past, was supposed to be true ghost stories. It wasn't very good. The Calypso Directive by Brian Andrews, which was like action-adventure thriller. Amarok by Angela Townsend, which is YA paranormal. The Harrowing by Alexandra Sokoloff, which is adult fiction horror. Thought it was awesome. You crazy-ass kids and your Ouija boards. I don't know. I read The Telling by Mike Duran, which was, it's considered Christian fiction, but it was like an apocalyptic thriller, mystery, horror. Like, I don't even know how to stick it in a genre for you other than to just say it was awesome. In the Tall Grass by Stephen King, which was audio and ebook. And House on Butcher Harbor by Lisa Lewis Moon, which is fiction, paranormal. In November, I read Sitting Kills and Moving Heals, which is nonfiction, like a Better Your Health type thing. New Kids on the Block, Five Brothers and a Million Sisters, which is like a biography / memoir thing for the New Kids on the Block. And then I read Cursed by Jennifer L. Armentrout, which is my first Armentrout book, and I loved it, so I'm going to try to pick up some more of her books. And then I closed out the year with The Hobbit, which counts toward my classics, and it was a book club pick. The Island of Silence, which is the Unwanteds book 2, and that was an audio book. Clockwork Sky by Madeline Roscoe, which was a graphic novel thingy. The Little Magic Shop of Horrors, Dead Time Stories by Gina Cascone. Dear Dumb Diary, Year 2, Book 3, Nobody's Perfect, But I'm as Close as It Gets by Jim Benton. Sectors, which is an indie horror book by Brick Marlin. Drawing Blood, which is an indie horror book by Richard Finney. The Dead and Buried, which is YA paranormal by Kim Harrington. Loved. Dr. Frankenstein's Daughters by Suzanne Wynn. And I closed out the year with The Last Dragon Slayer by Jasper Ford, which was another book club pick. Alright, you guys, that's the books I read in 2012. So how about it? Did you set any goals for yourself? Did you meet your goals? If you did like an end of the year wrap up video, make sure to tell me down in the comments so I can go and watch it. I'm subscribed to so many people now that my feed, like literally if you post a video, it's gone off my subscription feed within 10 hours. So if I'm not online one day, I miss tons of videos. So yeah, if you did a end of the year wrap up, tell me down below so I can go and watch it, and pop back in tomorrow so you can see what were my favorite reads of 2012. Thanks for watching, you guys. See ya.